The goal was to make enchiladas, but I had no ground meat. Luckily, we have the technology. So yeah, I want to make some taco meat. I'm like, I don't want to go to the grocery store. My wife, in her infinite wisdom, says, we have a food processor. Make your own ground meat. Hey, not a bad idea. So I made the ground meat, which we'll see in just a moment, and then I reached in the pantry for some seasonings, and we're out of some stuff, man. I was not paying attention. So we're going to the grocery store anyway. And I can't use this lovely sidewalk because it's closed, because, I don't know, because of COVID? Anyway, so I'm on this. It's supposed to open this week. I hope it does. On to the store to get my spice. And now we make our ground meat. Chop it up in like 1-inch pieces. Doesn't really matter. It's going into the processor. You just don't want to throw whole steaks in there. You kind of, you want to help out the blender or the food processor. So you kind of pre-chop it. It's around, 1 inch. Yeah, see that stringy piece I just picked up? That was a mistake. I thought that was just a little extra fat, and so I cut through it. It was some really tough gristle, and it ended up leaving a few kind of inedible pieces of gristle in the ground meat. I have learned, and I will take that out next time. I'm doing a mix of pork and beef because it's what we have on hand, and generally I like it. The beef is very dry. The pork has way too much fat, so you kind of mix them and they go together well. I cut the real hard lump of fat off because it's really hard. Also, this pork steak has a bone, which I don't want to grind, so I cut them off as well. After I've got all of it chopped up, I've got 2 or 3 bones. I will take my boning knife and clean off all the extra meat. I don't think I got enough meat off of it to be worthwhile. But I had fun, and that's what counts. So I've never done my own ground meat. Now, this is not a meat grinder. It is a food processor, so it's basically just really chopped meat. But, that's about the same thing, isn't it? Sure it is. Other people do this. I've seen it done. So we've been really enjoying this food processor, blender, spice grinder. It's a whole set of stuff, uses the same base, and we've really been using it a lot and having a lot of fun with it. I don't actually use the processor blade that much. I use it more for chopping and shredding and grating, but today we're using the processor blade, throwing in all our mix of meat. You want some fat in it because it needs to have the juice and it helps with flavor. It'll cook out most of it anyway. So you just kind of get it set up and pulse it for a while. And when you're done, you have some lovely ground meat. That's the theory anyway. I wanted to see how it looked. Seems pretty good. So I form a patty just to see if it works. And it does hold a patty shape. So it's all wonderful. I don't think it's any cheaper. Actually, I think this meat is more expensive than ground meat, but it is better than the ground meat we buy at the grocery store. If I go to S&R, their ground meat's probably better than this anyway. So I'm just going to dump it in and brown it, and just for fun, I will form a patty, but when it's mostly cooked, I will chop it up. I just want to see if it holds together. This has nothing in it, no additives, just the meat, and it cooked up really well. I was very impressed with it. It was nice, really good. The goal is still to make enchiladas, which we did. Got a little pan that only holds 5. I tried to get 6 in there, but it didn't happen. But we got some beef enchiladas covered with cheese and a chili sauce, and got some black beans, made refried black beans, and obleas for dessert. A wonderful Mexican goat's milk caramel. Life is good. Enjoy your day in paradise.